What if I told you, thanks to the multiverse, we've actually seen Injustice versions of the characters interact with actual main continuity DC Comics characters like Jonathan Kent, for example, Superman's son in the main continuity Rebirth, by the way. Same with Wonder Woman has interacted with him as well. I bet you didn't know that, but let's get it. The version of Wonder Woman that can actually eat bullets to the face, I'm not gonna lie, I really like this, makes her feel that much more godly. She be getting hit by missiles and things that level buildings and she's fine. Like, you can literally see all these missiles coming at her and eats all of that. Super Atlantean weaponry, she can take it to the face, nuclear-like explosions. Lantern power rings, she can withstand the blast from like Sinestro. And it comes in handy she can survive in space and get good views like this, along with Superman, for example. The Injustice games are fun. The saga has gotten quite popular with them getting video games and comics to add more lore and features to their repertoire. It lets you feel the complexities and nuances of this universe, and it's just not all black and white, and you can understand where they're coming from some degree in certain angles, you know what I mean? But let's analyze how strong this version of Wonder Woman is, shall we? Even though this is technically an alternate reality version of Wonder Woman and she's a video game character, don't get it twisted, she still has a lot of similarities to the main Wonder Woman we're used to. Same similar outfit look, other than her being bulletproof, of course, her skin showing. She has her bracelets, her lasso, you can see how her gear looks. Easily probably one of the meaner versions of Wonder Woman, but she still uses a sword, shield. Her shield can be used as protection, or one can say as a weapon against her foes because of how hard it is. You see it deflecting bullets. Beings like Catwoman in this situation, which I'm going to bring up later on, who's powered up by this super pill that makes, normal humans strong like these beings like Superman and Wonder Woman. Her shield was able to withstand such super enhanced scratches. Even super powerful heat vision she can withstand, thanks to this shield. Lasso. This magic lasso is broken because she has to make you tell your truth, and she can make you say the magic word, which would depower you in this case. I mean, it's pretty obvious she can fight. She wields a sword and a shield, so it's pretty obvious she has combat experience, but it's pretty much proven. When we literally seen her fight an alternate dimension version of herself, they're pretty much mirror images. Like, that's why you see her flip beings like Amazons when she's restrained here, for example, fighting skills. She's just a part of this dictatorship along with the dictator Superman, But let's analyze how strong she actually is, though, shall we? Right off gate, we know she has super strength. I mean, if her forearm or grip strength is this strong to crush your head like this, it just lets you know, what do you think her chest muscles and bigger muscles can do? I mean, her simply pushing Batman to the ground, you can see the cracks letting you know her strength. Her lasso comes in handy because not only can she ensnare multiple people, but she can use her strength along with the rope to sling them people around. And let's just say when it comes to the necks of normal people, this rope with her strength is not a fair combination. Yikes, no neck for Huntress. She has the strength along with her lasso to lift up big missiles like this, for example. To give you an idea of her physicals, we get to see some ideas of her strength doing light work stuff, lifting up this rubble right here, for example. This is standard superhero stuff, being strong enough to lift a plane if needed. Oh yeah, you probably already know she can fly, of course. You guys already know how heavy tanks can be. She's strong enough to lift a tank up and even flip one over with ease if need be. Proven without a doubt off gate, and the video is just getting started. She can lift over 50 or 60 plus tons, but that's nowhere near her limit. It's occasions like this that pretty much prove she can lift hundreds of thousands, even one can say millions or even billions of tons. Because Wonder Woman, along with Superman, Shazam, Green Lantern, one can say she did 1/4 of it if all of them carried their fair share of weight. They literally went underneath Atlantis themselves and helped move the entire city, or one could say island worth, just like this, and put it somewhere else along with the rest of the beings. So this already proves 1 million tons at the very least. If we assume she did her fair share, lifting 1/4 of an entire city, one could say this proves she can lift a billion, billions, or even trillions of tons. One could say even more because we already know mountains can be billions of tons. So it's implied she can definitely lift a mountain if she wanted to, if she was able to help lift an entire city of an Atlantis. It depends on how big you think this is. Beings that are supposedly or apparently cosmic type beings like Trigon, you see her pull his arm here. I mean, she's strong to even be considered an Amazon because not even other Amazons can withstand her raw power. You know she's unnaturally strong because it takes chains that are forged by Zeus to even hold her if you try to imprison her too long, As you see this occasion, she's holding her weight, helping restrain Black Adam, for example, but evidently she's a helpful aid. Like, I'm not trying to say Wonder Woman's in the same league of Injustice Superman when he got the Yellow Lantern ring and stuff, but I just want to give you an idea of the stuff these characters have done to give you somewhat an idea of the max crap she can lift. that's just scratching the surface of her lifting a city and stuff. Because you guys remember when Injustice Superman had the Yellow Lantern ring? Mogo is a literal sentient entity that's a literal planet Green Lantern. Superman with the Yellow Lantern ring in Injustice was able to move an entire planet and push him into the sun, an entire planet, guys. Don't get me wrong, I do believe Injustice Superman is above this Wonder Woman, but what if we say she's 1/10th or 1/20th of this strength? I look at it like this. So even if we say Superman still has the advantage with the Yellow Lantern ring to be able to move an entire planet, one could say Wonder Woman can move a smaller planet or a smaller planetoid like a moon or something. If we assume he can move an Earth-sized planet when he's amped up, sure, we can't necessarily assume whatever he can do, Wonder Woman can do when he's amped up like this, but a fair assumption would be maybe a smaller planet or planetoid. Wouldn't that be fair, right? Regardless, I'm still admitting the fact that Superman with the Yellow Lantern ring still got the edge. That's fair, right? I mean, she got to be that strong. She did do this to Trigon in her base form, so you see what Superman did. You see the punch. You see what I'm saying? She got to be somewhere in that ballpark to be able to lift planetoids. Or if you don't want to say she can lift planetoids, that would mean she can at least lift one continent or multiple continents, right? Or several countries at least, right? Regardless, she has stellar strength, physicals, right? Even in Injustice universe, right? So naturally, with all this strength, there's no surprise that she can punch hard. Brainiac's drones, y'all get murked. Like Batman, for example, isn't your typical human, but he's a little bit out of his weight class when it comes to Wonder Woman's raw strength. Gets punched here. Don't ask, but He-Man has had their fair share of crossovers with Injustice or DC Comics. She's punched beings from the He-Man universe. Batwoman, I don't know what you're thinking. If Batman can't handle her, what do you think's gonna happen? Even if you eat the plot-induced super pill in this Injustice universe, that still ain't enough. You still go night-night. There's a ridiculous gap in strength between Wonder Woman and other female characters, especially the street tiers, or one can say super soldier tiers. In this occasion with her shield mates, Catwoman sleepy. It's crazy that she overpowered Catwoman even though she was amped on these super pills that, you know, the plot armor induced pills that allowed weaker characters to hang with Superman and Wonder Woman level beings. And Catwoman's here, she gets smacked by Wonder Woman. And just because you're a metahuman with superpowers doesn't mean you can't get overpowered. That's just not how that works. She can cleave or slice fighter jets in half. So it's obvious jets are not safe. Her strength mixed with her blade can take on a whole bunch of Brainiac drones and carve them up. Slice and dice with the shield and the blade at the same time, hitting combos. Even androids like Amazo ain't safe, and neither is Grundy. She has the flight or raw power to literally fly through tanks, for example. Considering what we've seen her lift up, her launching a tank shouldn't be a surprise, really. Trembling it either. Or having the raw punching power to just punch away and break apart or delete tanks by just simply flying through them, right? Like this. It's obviously stronger than your average Amazons. Like, she can smash her hands together and make huge shockwaves to one could say level a building if she wanted to. Just like in comics, one of her main people like Cheetah, we've seen Wonder Woman in this universe fly and mess her up. Her arm was actually dislocated. She had to put it back together. Like, Cheetah was literally helpless right here and she was about to stab her. It's occasions like this that imply she can hit beings like Sinestro through a mountain if needed be, which would imply she can hit with mountain trembling power at the very least. And when you understand how this universe works, you would know this is definitely lower end still when it comes to hitting hard. Due to her nature, based on the people she fights, it implies she's way past mountain shattering level. I mean, she's been fighting gods like Ares and stuff, for example. Her gear is probably extremely overpowered, but it's her swords and gear plus her raw strength to be able to cut the hand off of Ares in this particular occasion. Or stab into beings and pin them like this with her sword. Gotten scuffles with teammates of her own league. We've seen her give hands to Hermes, you know, when they was fighting the different deities. Same with the fact we've seen her punch Atlas, working together with Superman, punching up Hercules, even though Hercules is ridiculously strong. We've seen her backhand Aquaman. It doesn't stop there. She literally fights him underwater, or fights him off for a split second underwater. Whether it's Green Lanterns or Yellow Lanterns, Wonder Woman's one of them people that can punch through their constructs. And I'm talking about several of the constructs she can break with her fist without even using her blades or gear or nothing. To the point where I'm honestly starting to feel bad for Sinestro, if we're being real. We've seen her grab and choke Sinestro, and she has the raw strength to crush a Sinestro core ring. God dang, Wonder Woman, why are you going to do Sinestro like this? Mighty beings, of course, you know he's strong just like every universe. Black Adam, she can kick and damage him with her strikes. The best way to really understand Wonder Woman's might is to compare her to the Kryptonians in this universe we've seen her have to compete against, like Supergirl and Superman. One can say this is partly because of her fighting or brutal nature, but Batman believes that Wonder Woman could kill Superman or Clark in this universe because of her fighting instincts. And when you talk about her opinion about the Kryptonians, like Supergirl, for example, she believes she would crush her in the fight like a bug. She even wrote Superman saying he grew up not needing to know how to fight and that's her advantage apparently. And when you see the showings of her taking on these Kryptonians, it seems to be true. Like her punches are clearly able to affect them without necessarily using kryptonite and stuff. So she just has that kind of raw strength or punching power. It's the same with her durability. She can take hits from Supergirl. Her body is resilient, being able to take full blow punches from Superman. Superman even said, "I'll kill you if I have to." So let you know he was hitting her pretty hard, even though she was bleeding, but she didn't die from this. Slugfest with Superman taking punches from him. It's plenty of occasions of her endurance being able to withstand the hits. There's clear writer intent. You even see a headbutt. If her punches wasn't meant to be on the level with him, how is she able to do this to him? You see the blood. They're literally making it too obvious for us watchers. I mean, she's strong enough to do this to Superman's arm, make him yell in agony, so you know she's got crazy strength. This is partly because of her strength and fighting skills probably put together. Like, it's a legit slugfest. She kicks him in the face, he punches her, she endures it. Why is battling Superman and getting somewhat wins on him impressive, you ask? When it comes to strength, durability, and how hard she can hit? Well, I don't want to get into a debate on who you think is stronger. Let's just say they're comparable, somewhere in the same ballpark. Like, sure, it's no exact math to this, but yeah, she got to be somewhere in this ballpark, even if you want to agree that Superman is above her. Let's say Superman's 100, she got to be like a 95, 90, you know what I mean? Somewhere in the same ballpark, right? Superman was able to slam Sinestro with so much punching power or force into the moon to where it created this much of an impact. You're probably thinking, who cares? This is more impressive than you think, simply because we can see the curvature of the moon. This can give you an idea of how much impact they produced. Like, let this junk sink in. Look at the curvature and look how the moon would compare to it. Like, we know he didn't, like, crumble the whole moon. He just created a nice chunk of the moon. And since we know how big the moon is compared to the actual Earth itself, even if you make a big impact of this big, that would still be enough to level an entire city on the planet Earth. Would be like nuclear bombs and stuff. You get where I'm coming from when it comes to comparing these sizes of the crater of an impact? So looking at the size, like if you was to do this much damage to Earth, right? That's at least leveling cities. That X right there, right? If you was able to do this much damage to the moon, you see how much damage that would produce? That would still be enough to level a city. For you to be able to do that, you get the idea? So do you kind of get where this diagram is coming from when it comes to analyzing how much power Superman produced? When you look at the curvature of the moon, that would have to at least mean that Superman produced power that was like a nuclear bomb that could level an island or a couple cities or cities simply based on this feat alone. Like, these two literally got in a slugfest, at points making him look sleepy. Them statements seem to be accurate. So she having the strength to do this to him, and we know Superman's durability is up there with how hard he can hit. All of this makes sense. This would imply that she could also do the similar thing to what Superman could do when it comes to creating a big chunk of the moon. Meaning, if she was in this same situation, she should be able to do this same type of impact to the moon, aka drop a city or two with her strikes or punches and stuff. But then again, this still could be scratching the surface. Her punches would basically be like a nuclear explosion at the very low end. Or one could say enough raw power to level a city with just punches. Punches to sink all this. Or trembling all of this with a kick with your blows or your punches. But let's analyze it even further. The fact she's able to do this to Superman, blood and everything, no kryptonite, just raw strength. She's damaging and giving Superman an extremely hard time. A Superman that was able to fight Darkseid in a fist fight. A Superman who was clashing with Darkseid that was trembling the entire planet of Apokolips from their fury, calling their blows world crushing. Saying their fight would rupture the planet's core. This version of Superman's fighting that hard. So just like that, city destroying ain't nothing, but her being able to slugfest with Superman proves that she could tremble the entire planet of Apokolips if she wanted to, just like Superman could. Even going as far as saying Superman and Darkseid's punches were world crushing would also go for Wonder Woman too, considering how her strikes can do this to Superman. So it kinda makes sense when you see her take full blunt punches from him and keep on fighting. And one can say even bloodlusted punches. I mean, how much proof do you need? But at a bare minimum, we know her punches can at least tremble the moon, right? Even if you don't want to assume she can destroy the Earth. I mean, trembling a planet or almost destroying a planet's core like Apokolips should be enough evidence it is. Considering she can match Superman's raw strength when it comes to punches, it would be just kind of weird if her punches couldn't at least cause catastrophic destruction to the moon. Did you guys know Wonder Woman can punch this hard? You probably didn't. Matching Superman like this means she can do this by default. It's crazy that Wonder Woman's got fast hands, but don't forget about these on top of it that deflect everything basically, but her hands in general are just fast. One could say she has fighting speed on top of all the strength I already showed you in this video, all that punching power. I mean, we've seen her casually dodge bow and arrows. These missiles, you see she can dodge it. Stuff she always does in the comics like deflecting bullets when it comes to her fighting speed to disarm Deathstroke after blocking the bullets. Her fighting speed, you can see in this case she's deflecting it. She has straight line speed when it comes to flying fast. Like you can literally see the timer, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Like she's already in space that fast. Like let you know how fast she is in straight line speed. I'm talking about flying from point A to point B speed to be able to fly out here that quick while carrying heavy stuff. Injustice Wonder Woman has to have at least light speed fighting speed because every encounter Injustice, Superman, and Wonder Woman have, there's never a scenario where he's too fast for her. And we know this Superman can fight and move at speeds way faster than the speed of light because if he was just overwhelmingly faster than her, he wouldn't allow this type of stuff. He would just dodge it and stuff of that such. So it's obvious the speed gap isn't super large. This being Superman has outsped Green Lantern's beings that can fly across space and stuff of that such because he's faster than thought, for example. Matter of fact, when Brainiac wanted to outspeed Superman when it comes to the shielding, he was moving so fast that Brainiac felt like he had no choice but to change his defenses to match his speed. He felt like he needed to refresh the interval to 10 picoseconds for the shield to be able to outspeed him to even hit Superman. Like this. Just for those curious, a microsecond is 1/1,000,000th of a second, a nanosecond is 1/1,000,000th of a second, and a picosecond is a trillionth of a second. And Wonder Woman fights Superman no problem when it comes to speed without it getting blitzed. If the speed gap was super large, he could have just blitzed her and called it a day. That's not the case. She can definitely keep up with his raw speed, meaning she can attack you massively faster than the speed of light before you can really do anything. The only being she has a hard time reacting to via blitz is beings like Reverse Flash, but you know, Flash characters are usually faster than Superman tier characters. Reverse Flash is literally a rival to Flash, so this kind of does make sense with the lore. Her reflexes mixed with her bracelets help out. When people try to shoot absolute zero blast at her, she can reflect it back to where they get frozen. Yes, it is implied that Reverse Flash is indeed faster than her in raw speed. Its implications that it's not a vast gap to the point where Wonder Woman can't even fight him, so you know she has to be faster than the speed of light. You know, standard comics, he's a time traveler. When it comes to raw speed, yes, she has interacted with main continuity characters like Superman's actual son from the main continuity, but it's confirmed that Wonder Woman has the power of Hermes, the speed of a god. His plan was to just straight up speed blitz her and take her off planet, right? But that didn't go as planned because she begins to react as they pass Jupiter. So they're implying massively faster than light speeds because he literally flew from Earth to passing Jupiter in the span of her not being able to react. So they're moving ridiculously fast. But Wonder Woman can't just get blitzed, and she was able to react to him still when it comes to raw speed. As a bare minimum, we know she can fly at high hypersonic speed and probably much faster in space. But check this out. You guys know how there's a multiverse and there's multiple different universes. The Injustice universe is a separate universe from the main universe. Tell me why there's some multiversal hopping going on where the main characters from the main universe has interacted with Injustice. So one could say the power levels of the Injustice universe is, one could say, retcon, because I think we all can agree, no matter how you look at it, the main continuity Rebirth Superman is above the Injustice one. But how much, though? It doesn't seem by that much. Either he's above or they're equal, because you know how this version of Superman had like a son who grew up to be pretty powerful. I'm talking about Superman's kid has so much blast power, for example. And even when he's a kid, it's got enough power to even burn Superman, the main continuity Superman. We're not strictly talking about Injustice stuff no more. We're talking about the main continuity, overpowered, busted, post-crisis fusion of New 52 Superman. We've seen Jonathan Kent as a kid blast the main continuity universe version of Wonder Woman back. We've seen him blast with his heat vision, Doomsday back, while young. In this occasion, he was kind of mind-controlled or possessed, but Jonathan was able to slugfest it with his actual main continuity version of Superman, while young, while under the influence of Manchester Black. Like, we know this guy's powerful. Even while young, he had this, like, supernova solar flare moment where everybody was having issues containing his power, including Raven, including Flash Tears, and everybody was having some issues containing it. This kind of lets you know how strong John is, even compared to the main continuity Superman, the man, the myth, the legend himself. And you guys know where I was going with this. Injustice Wonder Woman got an interaction with this main continuity John. And John, at this point in his career, is like, one can say he's at his peak power. He even says, I'm moving quicker than I ever have before, faster than ancient deities. I'm stronger than I've ever been. Even with all that being said, he stated, she's Diana, Princess of Themyscira. And despite all of this, Injustice Wonder Woman, there's implications she can damage main continuity tier characters, this being that can harm the main continuity Superman, the Superman that has the same strength to contain a black hole in his hand tier. Like, you know, Post-Crisis and Rebirth have comparable strength because their histories merge and stuff. John has competed with Superman-centric threats, and this Injustice Wonder Woman can still cracked the jaw of somebody this mighty, implying that her power levels is way better than we would have ever thought. Kinda changing the game if anybody's anywhere near the ballpark of the main continuity Superman. So saying she can strike with Earth destruction is basically an oversimplification, considering what the main continuity Kryptonians or Superman characters can do, and they're implying that Injustice characters in that league. It would be like saying Wonder Woman strikes are like black holes or worse and things of that such, because we know what the main continuity Superman has done when it comes to having power or strength that can devastate solar systems and stuff. Yeah, let's just say it. Wonder Woman and Injustice hitting you is like a whole bunch of planets smacking you in the face, basically, or a whole solar system worth of planets slamming into your face, basically. Does this change the game for how strong Injustice Wonder Woman is, comparing her to the main rebirth Superman Kryptonian tiers, like Jonathan Kent? I want to hear you guys' thoughts below. How hard do you think she can punch or kick? I want to hear your thoughts. But regardless of how you look at her, you got to respect her though. But before I get going, everybody, I got to say thanks for the donations, everybody. It helps out a lot. Respect, Injustice, Wonder Woman. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.